The Lion King in 3D. Disney's Lion King in 3D, the 1994 version, released in 2011. The Blu-ray disc and the 3D version was released in 2011. 1994 this was made, so that's what, 30 years now, 30-year film. This is a 90-minute film, 1.78 to 1 aspect ratio, so you will get a nice big screen on this one. English DTS HD Master Audio 7.1 on this 3D disc, 8.5 out of 10 on Internet Movie Database, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. And it stars Mufasa and Nala, and you got Simba and Scar and Rafiki and Shenzi and Pumbaa, and you know, and they're voiced over by famous actors and actresses. But that doesn't really matter to me. I don't really care. I want to, you know, I get so engrossed in the character, I don't really care. But here's a few of them: James Earl Jones, Whoopi Goldberg, Matthew Broderick, Jeremy Irons, Jonathan Taylor Thomas from Home Improvement, and many. He's Simba. He's the voice of Simba. So there's many stars in here doing the voiceover. But like I said, it really doesn't matter much to me. It shouldn't matter much to you either, if they're doing their job. This is the best-selling home video of all time. That's what they say. I don't know. These are some facts I'm going to be reading here to you. This is the first Disney cartoon to be dubbed in Zulu, that language, and a Golden Globe Award winner. So, you know, I was going to put up some cut shots and things like that, but it really wouldn't do it justice. So let's go ahead and watch the trailer now, the original trailer now. And I think this is a trailer for the new release, the 2011 release. So let's go ahead and watch the trailer now, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the movie. I'll tell you, it's very emotional movie. Okay, so here's some other facts. I'm just going to throw them out there, and then we'll talk about the 3D. You've got, let's see, adult Simba's hair was inspired by Jon Bon Jovi. I can see that. You look at the adult Simba's hair, he kind of looks like Jon Bon Jovi. The warthog is the first Disney character to ever fart on screen. Emit flagellance, if that's, you know, more proper, but the Wild Beast Stampede shown here took 3 years. It took Disney animators 3 years to do. They had to write a special computer program and CGI because you got all these wildebeests and they can't be running into each other because they're animated, and it took them 3 years just to do that. The hyenas go goose stepping in front of Scar. Now I spotted that right away. I said, that's like Nazi symbolism. And sure enough, it even says in some of the facts that that's what it was portrayed as, the soldiers walking past Hitler there. Several Disney animators went to Africa. Now look, there's going to be some spoils here. So if you don't know anything about The Lion King, and you don't want me to spoil anything, then just go ahead and leave, because there's going to be some spoils here. I can't help it. We're going to talk about the movie. We're going to talk some more facts, and then we'll go over to 3D. Several of the Disney animators went to Africa to study the movements and everything of the animals over there, and they brought a full-grown lion and a cub into the animation studio so that they could watch them, and that would better help them model the characters. Now, There was a dust cloud in here when the Simba falls over and it goes up into the sky, and it says SFX. And it was rumored that it's spelled sex, S-E-X, but it's actually SFX, and that's for the special effects team that put this together. Now, they took that out because of the controversy in the 2003 Platinum Edition. They took that scene out. Originally, two of the hyenas were to be Cheech and Chong, but they couldn't get Tommy Chong, so they got Cheech. He's in here. He does one of the voiceovers. 600 animators of the Disney's B team worked on this. The A team was working on Pocahontas. That was going to be the big money maker in 1994. And so they put the B team on this, and the B team, this blew out Pocahontas. And so that's a wonderful contribution to the B team. And there's over 1 million drawings in here and 1,200 hand-painted backdrops, which we're going to talk about that when we get to the 3D. The plot is loosely based on William Shakespeare's Hamlet. Yeah, I can see that in here. As well as biblical stories of Moses and Joseph. I definitely saw that here, especially the anointing of the king, the way they anoint the king. And then they raise him up and everybody sees him, bows to the king. It's just, it kind of clicked with me. The soundtrack's the 4th best-selling album of 1994. Movie fans describe, there's a couple spoilers here, movie fans describe Mufasa's death as the saddest and most traumatizing moment of all time, along with the death of Bambi's mother. All right, so wow. Yeah, that was quite a moving scene. And that, let's talk a little bit about the movie now, because there are some scenes in here, and Disney does this. Disney does this with Christmas Carol too. Christmas Carol was frightening to me. Jim Carrey's Christmas, it was frightening to me. So here, as a young child, as a 5-year-old, I would say, I think it might be a little young to actually see this. You say, oh no, but well, that's okay. I mean, there's murder in here, there's death, deceit, and the father dies. It's the only the first Disney character where the father dies on screen. The father of the main character dies on screen. I think it was done again later, and I think it was The Good Dinosaur. So it's to me, it would be traumatic for a very young child, but if you don't think so, that's fine. You might have your 5-year-old running around behind you, Daddy, you're going to die, Daddy, you're going to die. I don't know, but I raised a few kids, and I don't know. It's a little bit on the more for above the 5-year-olds, I think. But it's an absolute wonderful movie, okay? So that's my little take on that. You know the story, right? Simba the Lion King child, which is actually, this story is based on a true story in Africa about a prince whose name was the Lion King, who kind of got banished from it. It's a well-known documented story, supposedly, and then works his way back in, and stories about how he overcomes ailments and stuff to come back and take over the kingdom from a bad king. It's supposed to be a true story that's still told in circles today. I don't know. But that's the story, right? And he gets blamed for his father's death. Like I said, there's spoilers here, and Scar tells him to run away. It was all set up by the evil uncle. I don't want to get too far into the story. If you don't know the Lion King, you wouldn't even be here. And then he's got to come back, and he's got to take the kingdom back because it's in bad shape. Scar's doing a bad job, but he's got to fight for it. Okay, I'm not going to ruin the ending. But that's basically the plot. Let's talk about the 3D now. It's getting kind of long. Look, there is a prologue in the beginning that a guy comes on from Disney and says, hey, we always wanted you to experience Africa as if you were there. And so we thought if we did this in 3D that we could do that. That's why we did this in 3D, so you could feel like you're there. And then it just cuts off. It's just like a 30-second thing. And then it takes off in 3D. And the music hits, and the depths are there, and the beauty is there, and the colors are there, and it's absolutely fantastic in 3D. Now, there is that cutout effect. You know, the cutout effect where you got this scene here, and this cutout, and this in the back. But that's part of the nostalgia of it. I remember that when I was looking through the 3D viewfinder with the dinosaurs and stuff, you know, the 3D cutout. You know, you could see what was where. Now, all these hand paintings in the background are absolutely beautiful. Are you going to have some stick outs? Absolutely. You're going to have some birds flying in from behind you and out right out of the screen. You're going to have some leaves swirling around right in the room. Disney does throw pop-outs. Disney always does a good job on a 3D. Always does a good job on a 3D. Some of the best 3D are the down low shots and looking across like a cave floor or something like that. Great depths. Great depths in the outdoors too. Now look, you've got hand-painted background, so you've got that nostalgic, cartoonish look to it, you know, and yet it keeps, because of that, it keeps you focused on the story. And then you got your clouds in the background and things like that. And so sometimes you just get like an orange background. And they did that, I read that they did that to bring the colors of Africa to the screen without actually having a scene. So you do have that. So you got a mixed bag of great 3D, great depth. You got pop-outs, you got stick-outs. You have some things sticking out of the screen. You got beautiful colors. You got that nostalgia feel to it. You got the cutout. So it's a very unique, you got to think about this. This was done in '94 and then they converted it. So you got that, you still got this very unique feel to it. So, and of course you got the great heartwarming story and you're going to laugh, you're going to have a good time. So you got all that in there. I mean, I made some popcorn and just enjoyed every second of the music score alone, like I said, was the fourth selling best album of 1994. So you got the music, you got all that, you got the great 3D. I think it's a must-have. If you're a 3D collector of these Blu-rays, and you know they're going to be going away. They're going to be going away. My son tells me, he says, "Dad, they're going to be going away." So everything's going to be streaming one day. So if you're a collector, you need to go ahead and get your hands on this 3D version. What am I going to do with this? I'm going to give the 2011 3D release of The Lion King 5.0 for the movie, 5.0 for the 3D. It's a must-have. You should pick it up. So tell me, what did you think? Did you see it? Did you see it in 3D? You know, did you get the disc? Did you watch it on your television? Watch it on your projector? Leave some comments below and let me know if you saw this in 3D. Once you hit that like and subscribe button, I got more reviews coming. I know I've been slow, I've been lax, but I had to get one in, had to get one out there for you. I hope you enjoyed that trailer. I want you to have a good night. I want you to stay safe. As always, God bless.